Okay, so number 4 of my deck series. This one is going to be my shadow work deck. Um, Admittedly, I had got this like a couple months ago. I have not used it a ton, but I do think it's like really good if you're gonna have like a collection of decks to have some that help you look at the darker things or like the less light and fluffy things. I just feel like it's a useful tool. That's all. Let's find out what you need to know. Like, how are you gonna shed light on things if you don't see them? Hmm. Okay. Forgiveness sets you free. Release, unhooking, and peace. Fixing isn't healing. Oh my gosh, how many of you need to hear that? I feel like that one hits home. Boundaries, self focus, release. Validation addiction, external approval, identity blur, inner void. Hold your inner child. Love, safety, reparenting. Okay. And this is the first one that came out, but for whatever reason, I, I wanted more cards. I wanted to keep drawing, but I feel like I'm supposed to tell you, like, this is the first one that came out. And it says num one, but like number one also might be like somehow relevant, like number one. Disconnection, emotional freeze, avoidant coping. And I want to say like number one. I feel like every time I want to say number one, I feel like this is like one of the biggest things that you need to look at. Like it's almost like a laundry list. And I feel like maybe also you're going to be having a conversation with somebody about some of this stuff. Like, I don't feel like all of this is you, but I feel like this is going to be like some sort of like heartfelt conversation where these things are going to come up. And I feel like number one is going to be like being avoidant or like disconnecting to cope with stress. And I feel it doesn't say necessarily stress, but I feel like that's the trigger. Like stress, when you feel like there is like a little bit too much going on. And I feel like it's you. I feel like you're the one. And there's a little bit too much going on. Like you disconnect, you withdraw, and you avoid things to like soothe that anxiety. Like rather than find a different way to soothe it or like I also want to say it's like conflict. Like you also might avoid conflict the same way. Like I feel like those two like equally stress you out, and this is the mechanism here. So like general stress, like when you feel overwhelmed, perhaps, but then conflict as well. Like you just withdraw, you disconnect, you space out. And you might say like you need that decompression or that space to like come back to yourself. But I feel like that might actually be like part of like maybe a version of you did not get taught how to cope with stress or cope with conflict or things like that. So, in a way, like that's your way of like allowing yourself space to figure out how to work through things. But at the same time, like I just don't feel like you were taught a different way or like anything else. I feel like that is like how like maybe you were the type of kid like if there was like some sort of like trouble or tantrum or something like that, you were just like sent to your room. Like go to your room. Go deal with it on your own. Like you were just not taught other tools other than like that distance, that space. So I feel like you've adopted that as like how you do it now, I feel like you might do a little bit of like contemplating when you're actively like disconnecting. Like, not to a point where it would like continue like a stress loop for you, but in a way that you're just kind of curious about like, how does my mind work? Why do I do this? Or like, how can I go about this in a healthier manner? But it's more like situational. Like, it's more like the fixing isn't healing. Like, you'll look at the situation, but not the pattern as a whole. So you'll look at the situation itself and say, okay, like, how can I resolve this? Or like, how do I explain myself here? Or like, how do I talk through this? Or whatever. It's just something along that line of thinking, is just like tunnel vision on the conflict, the situation, until you feel like it's fixed or resolved, or like there's going to be some sort of like solution. But it's not like that doesn't like heal the pattern, though. Like, I feel like boundaries are also hard for you. Like, these down here, like self focus and like release and stuff like that, I don't feel like that's like necessarily the thing. Like, I do feel like you are good at introspection in the right moment. Like, you do have moments where you just have to like completely like computer reboot. That's okay. But I also feel like boundaries are a little bit of a hard thing for you. Like, and maybe that's something that you're now considering. Like, if there's certain boundaries that you put into place, then it would alleviate some of these like conflicts or some of these stresses. So then you wouldn't feel like you need to withdraw and create this space to like process or decompress. I just kind of want to like, I feel like sometimes it's almost like if you didn't get that space, you'd like spontaneously combust. I don't know. Or maybe you feel like that, like you're just gonna explode. Then we have like validation addiction. I don't feel like this one is necessarily you. I feel like every once in a while it might be like you want some validation just to be like, am I out of line here? But I don't feel like you crave it as much as like another person. But the other person, their like need for the validation might also like drive you up a wall a little bit. I don't feel like this is your energy. I feel like this is specifically about somebody else. But like, as you're looking at you and how you move, this is like in your energy, like somebody else's like need for your attention. So like you're withdrawing, and then their need for like your validation, for your energy, for your stuff is like they're, if you withdrew over here, they're just kind of like coming with you, like, yeah, I'm going for that ride anyways. Like, I can see that you're trying to like do something, but I'm coming too. And it's because they need the attention. They need the like, it's like one of those like they can't process like the out of sight out of mind, like unless you're like telling me 100 times a day that you love me, I'm not going to remember in 20 minutes that you love me, kind of thing. Like, it feels like that. And that also feels like that is overwhelming to you. That's why I'm reading this, like I feel like you're about to have a conversation. Then we have forgiveness sets you free, release, unhooking, peace. Okay. So for some of you, this forgiveness, I feel like it all comes into this like conversation. Like, maybe you and another person have not been like on the same page because of like what you're trying to do internally, and you're trying to like grow and heal and, you know, level up on things, because that's what you do in this community. And then this other person is like kind of like, I'm trying to get you to like prove you love me every 5 seconds. I feel like it's caused conflict. But I feel like if you have the conversation and you convey yourself in a way that is reassuring and also highlights, hey, I think you might also, have some stuff that you need to work on. Here's what I see. If I work on my stuff, can you work on your stuff? I feel like you guys could come to like a reasonable middle ground, and also go easier on yourself, okay? Hope this helps.